So first step. So of course you have to finish up the previous activities, right? So you cannot skip because previous activities you need to do set up the Scala installations and then the Spark installations. Once you finish, then here we're going to learn two different kind of running mode. So one is going to be interactive mode and then the other one is going to be cluster one mode. Interactive mode means we are trying to use line by line interpreter to do Spark analysis, Spark data analysis. Cluster one mode means once you finish up the creating a program, it's similar to the Hadoop, the map reduce program. Once you create the Java file, we generate the jar files and submit to the server, right? So cluster one mode is a similar kind of like that, right? So it generates the jar file and they send it over to the cluster. So in our case, we are not trying to combine or connect our source code to Hadoop clusters, connecting to a Hadoop cluster we learned it in last time. So this time we're trying to send the created jar file directly onto your local server, okay? So for doing this, for generating the Spark and then Spark data analysis, we need to create the Spark session and the Spark context. So we will see some of the examples in the following examples. Then also, in this activity, we're going to try and practice utilizing Scala programming language as well as some kind of Python modules as well. And so first steps, we need to prepare some kind of data frames, right? Because we are utilizing our own machines. So you need to create some kind of folders. In my case, so under the C drive, I have big data analytics folders already created. Under there, I'm trying to create Spark test. So let me try to open File Explorer here. So here is going to be C, the big data analytics folders. Under, I'm trying to create folders called Spark test. And then going under, I'm going to create input folders. Under here, you can just create any dummy files. So in our case, we are trying to put input data.txt. So input data.txt, you can just enter any replicated informations by Johnny, bye, Johnny, like this, okay? I just saved it, close, right? So I saved the dummy text on the file, right? Okay, next. So we are trying to first try the interactive mode. For doing the interactive modes, first steps, if you have the system environment, you have set up this Hadoop conf directories, then you have to remove it, right? Similar for the Mac users, if you do have that set up, you have to remove it. So in our case, we have not set up that directories before. So just double checking up, we go to the system, administrator setting, environmental. So there is no, here, I do have conf directories. All right, so I have conf directory here, so I need to remove this. Okay, okay. Next, open command prompt or the terminal window. So I'm going to open terminal prompt with the administrator privilege. All right, and then go to C drive, big data analytics, and then Spark test. Then you can enter Spark shell. Right? So it looks like a Spark is running good because I did the installation Spark installation last time, right? Right? And then what you need to do, you can try this line by line. So each of the lines, right? This source code, so this is line number 9. You can find that actual source code here. Where is that? In SparkRDD. Oh, I do not have that source code here. It's the same thing. So I will copy that later again. Right? Yeah, I copy that later. So when you're trying to copy this first line, so you have to making sure changing to the input folders. So like this. So just enter. So we have the folders created under the C drive, Big Data Analytics, Spark Test input folder. So that's why the text data files I'm trying to load, right? Then once you did, then second line, trying to generate mapping. So this is mapping as a transformations. And then trying to do the word count. So each word is counted as one value, right? And then after that, you need to do the reducing operation. So here, we're trying to do the addition operation to do the counting. Once you finish that, then you need to save it. So instead of HDFS, you need to save it to the same ways. C drive, big data, analytics, Spark test. So instead of input folder, we are setting output folder, right? Then once you finish successfully, then you will see the output folder is generated. If you go there, you will see a file output came out. So if you open this, you will see this duplicated word count, right? So this page, you need to submit as text, task number 1. So that's going to be the task number 1, okay? Pretty easy, right? You just need to follow the steps. So making sure you do not have any error messages, right? So if you have error messages, you need to address that. Second step is somewhat more complicated, especially if you're using Windows and the Mac also, because we are trying to additionally set up additional components. So interactive mode means we are trying to support the interactive data analysis, right? So in this case, we are trying to connect this Apache Spark to Jupyter Notebook, okay? So Jupyter Notebook, so that's broadly, we probably, taking the similar Python course, you probably have the Jupyter Notebook installed, right? So there are 2 different ways you can install Jupyter Notebook. So you can just downloading from the Jupyter Notebook website, or maybe you can install that as a part of the Anaconda, right? So my case, I have the Anaconda installed already. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to install this Apache Tori. So that's support the interactive support through the Apache, the Jupyter Notebooks. So when you go to this website, what it does is simply trying to provide the connection through the Apache, the Jupyter Notebook to connect the Apache Spark. So currently it has about 0.5, 0.4 is going to be available. So we are trying to download and then install our machines to set it up, right? So first, if you do not have the Jupyter Notebook installed, or the then definitely you need to making sure, right? Jupyter Notebook installed, right? So in my case, I have Jupyter Notebook installed through the Anaconda, so I'm trying to show you how my Anaconda is going to look like. Takes some time. All right, so here the Anaconda, and then if I launch this Jupyter Notebook, right? What we are trying to do, normally when you have the Anaconda installed in the Jupyter Notebook, you will see this Python by default is added. If you're trying to do the Scala programming in Jupyter Notebook, then we have to install this repository. This is going to be the one we are trying to do, right? Let me just shut this down. Let me show you how you can do that. First, you need to install this by going through the website. Simply, you need to use pip install. So pip is Python module installations, right? Pip install, and then you have to add this URL. So this URL you can get from this website. So here, repository, here. So this is the location. If you go to, then you will see several different versions available. I'm installing this, the last one, right? So this one is going to be the one I'm installing. So simply can just copy this. So here the copy URL and then paste it. Pip install. So if you just going, let me see. So if you just go command prompt in Anaconda, if you just install pip install, and then the URL I just copied from here, then it will start installing, right? Once you after, wait a second. Oh, not sorry, not the URL. So this repository pip. Oh yeah, pip installation. So this one. You need to copy this URL. The original URL is this. So that URL you need to copy and paste here, like this. Okay. Then it automatically install the repository to your machines. Of course, I'm going to skip that because I have installed already. Then once after you finish this installation, then you have to run this command. So because the Jupyter Notebook, the Jupyter Tori also should know where the Apache Scala, this Scala module is going to be located. So that also you should add inside of the command prompt. I already had that, but I accidentally installed once more. But I think that's fine. So you have to making sure this is going to be home directories of your Apache Spark, right? So if you finish up the previous activities, the Apache Spark directory is going to be pretty much the same as this. So this is going to be Apache Spark home directory, right? Once you finish that, so here's the part. So you need to download this run.cmd files. Run.cmd files I already uploaded here. So run.cmd, what it looks like, let me show you. So this is, it takes a while. Okay. Run.cmd, it has a bunch of those kind of commands. What you need to do, you just need to simply copy this run.cmd to these directories. can just copy these directories into here, Tori. So here is going to be the locations. So it's Apache, Scholar, Bean, Tori folders, right? So in here, you need to copy that CMD files, like this, okay? Just close that. Then once you finish, then you have to open these files. So this is going to be the same locations, but if you need to go up and then see kernel.json file. So here's the kernel.json file. So in here, so it is trying to run the run.sh. You need to change this run.sh to run.cmd because run.sh, that's the shell command. It only works in Mac and Unix machines. If you're using Windows, the shell command doesn't work. So that's why I provided cmd command. Then you have to change that. Once you finish, then close it. And then also another one, you have to additionally install this Tori app.py. So Tori, so here, app.py. You can just find that .sh. So here, it's trying to run the shell file. You also need to change to run.cmd. There's another, yeah, only these portions. All right, I finished that. Right? Then Mac operating system, if you're using Mac, then you do not need to have those kind of command prompt copy. You just need to skip that, right? Once you finish everything set up properly, then you have to go back and then start the Jupyter Notebook again. If everything runs good, then your Jupyter Notebook is connecting, providing this Apache Tori. So if you're just clicking this Apache Tori, it starts connecting to Apache Spark. So it says kernel starting, please wait, right? If it's successfully run, then it shows some kind of no error message is going to be pop up. If it has an error message, that means maybe some of the path is not properly set up. So here is trusted. So that means Jupyter Notebook successfully connect to Apache Spark, right? Once you finish, then you can try this word counts. The same as the word counts, right? You can just try copy this here. So you're running each command in Jupyter Notebooks, right? So it shows some kind of outputs, right? So the second line, you just copy these whole things. Right? So you can directly, interactively look at those kind of results, right? What is that? Is the error message? No. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it has some kind of error message because I already have output folders, right? So that means I have to go back to C drive, big data analytics, Spark test. So this is going to be the output folders. I need to delete that. If you run it again, then it's successfully creating the output, right? Right? Once you finish these parts, for the second test, you just need to create the screenshots, right? And then name it as like this, PNG files. Then that's going to be the part of the assignment.